My name is Noman Khan, and I come from a country which is called here as Pakistan, whereas we call it Pakistan once we are there. So that's our accent. My small introduction is that I was major once. I retired as major from the Pakistan Army. And after that, I wanted to work for some of the commercial organizations, so I started working for an American company, and that is called Boeing here. And then I started working for Rolls-Royce. But that never ended because military always told me that you have time to do more things. So what I started doing was that I involved myself into a family business which is linked with the education. So I was previously masters in education, planning and management. So I thought that it is important that let's try that education also. So I was linked with a high school like yours, and that's from playgroup till the 10th grade. We do not have this first and second grade because the student go to the college after that. How many Pakistanis do we have? We have any Pakistani here? Okay, we have one Bangladeshi. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And we have most from the United States. Rest all are from the United States. Okay, fine. So I started doing that job. So I was director curriculum and HR. And I hear, and I'm thankful to Shema because she brought me and showed me the school before. And I would like to indicate lots of things which you people do, and would also like to extend my full support to you. If I can be of any assistance, there can be an exchange program between the schools, the students, if they want to travel to India, to Nepal, to Pakistan, to Southeast Asia. So most welcome of all that. My presentation will cover most of these things, so you do not have to think about it. So I'll go step by step. So after that, what I started doing was that I thought that since I'm doing few media things, I was linked with the television. So that might be interesting for you. So I started doing a television program, and slowly and gradually then they brought me to television, and now I have a television show in Pakistan. You can just Google it with the name of Guest in Town, and that's my television show in which I welcome the acclaimed Pakistanis and foreigners visiting Pakistan, and I talk to them and I tell them, ask them rather, that why do you come to Pakistan? People tell you not to go to there. Next is Afghanistan, you might be in trouble, but you're still in Pakistan. And they tell me that we have visited Lahore, we have visited Karachi, we have seen the capital city, and they tell me about all these things which might be obscured from my eyes once I'm in Pakistan. So after that, I still thought that I had little more time available to do something, so I joined a cricket player who became a politician, and his name is Imran Khan. And if you could Google him, because we have two parties right now, the way you have it, and the third party is coming up in Pakistan, and that is with the name of Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, PTI. So that's the, and now I work for the professional wing of the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf. So this is my small introduction, which I would not like to extend. But before I could go to my formal presentation, I made a small movie for you to see about Pakistan. So let's see that what are the major pictures of Pakistan, and then I will go to the second part, that's the presentation. I understand that you people have to go in 20-25 minutes, so I'll make it quick. Here is the movie about Pakistan. Thank you, madam. And you can go it to the full screen. If you can. presentation which I just wanted to show in the form of pictures. So this was just a bit. But now the formal presentation will follow after this. So these are the pictures of Pakistan so that you could relate to this country, that which kind of country it is. We travel. What is the BMW in Pakistan? Do they know about that? Do you know? Have they ever seen a Mercedes there? So this is the kind of there are almost 8 7-stars hotel in the world, and 2 of the 7-star hotels are coming up in Pakistan. But anyway, let's see the presentation which I have made. Sorry, I'm disturbing you a lot. So I wanted to keep it small. This is just a 1 minute 50 seconds. And most of the facts which I have placed in this presentation, I'm leaving it here on your computer. You can check it that how right I was. And I've tried to be conservative in my figures because if they were 10, I wanted to tell it is 8 from the Pakistan. So that you say that he was saying 8 and even it is bigger than that. So the numbers are bigger than that. Anyway, Pakistan, what I'm going to cover is, just to click and I'm on. Can you go to the previous one?
The what?
The previous one. Okay. Yeah.
You need some more light?
The light is fine.
Okay.
Here. Perfect.
I need to go backwards?
Yeah, backward.
Okay.
I wanted to show. The title is not coming, but it says Pakistan, People and Its Story. So this is what is presentation about. Next, please. So Pakistan basic information. I'll not go into the lots of numbers so that you say that he's giving me lots of number and in the end we do not remember much. So here are a few of the digits. Yes. It's not, I'm sorry. I think so. You need to click this one.
This one?
Yeah. It says end. Because after that, what we have done is it's one by one the points are coming on the screen.
Unfortunately, this might be because we have open office and it changes it from, was it made in Microsoft Office?
Yeah, it was made in PowerPoint. Yeah.
That might be the problem. I don't know. Unless somebody, yay!
Okay.
Mine is, so you just click on the lady.
Click the screen, that's like the arrow.
Do you want this one?
Just,
Click the screen.
just click on the screen.
If you want the stuff to show
Okay.
up.
Yeah.
No.
Go backwards.
Now go back.
Here?
Okay. So here it is. We speak Urdu, and Urdu is spoken 2 billion individuals in the world. And that's why after Hollywood, the biggest industry is Bollywood, and they do not speak Hindi. Do we have an Indian here? So they speak the language that is called Urdu, and you know, in the movies. But otherwise, the language is Hindi. So that's the language we speak, Urdu. And then we have the official language, which is called English. The Islamic Republic of Pakistan is the name, and we are 180 million people. 180 million people. How big it is? We are 6th most populous country, not doing well as far as this number is concerned. Should not be very proud about it. 2nd largest Muslim population. So after Indonesia, which is the first country, we are the 2nd. So 1.7, about, they came double this number. We have refugees living with us from Afghanistan, which is the next country to us. Then in 1971, and this is especially because we have Sharma here, 1971, her country was also part of Pakistan, but due to the civil war, then it became Bangladesh. So that was called as East Pakistan, this was West Pakistan, and in 1971, another country came up. So, next please. What are the biggest wealth for a country, monetarily speaking? So, these are the biggest wealths which I could think of, you know, in my mind. Yes, please. Just click on this. Gold. So we have gold, copper, then we have coal, we have wheat and rice. These are the things which I could think of. Next, nuclear power, if you can be. Next, military. So these are the biggest numbers which I could think, if monetarily speaking, a country has to be big. Am I right to say this thing? That if a country has gold, if a country has copper, coal, wheat and rice, let's find out Pakistan, there are 204 countries in the world. Let's find out, Pakistan should be around, let's say, 190 or something like that. Let's see, where is Pakistan? Click, please. Gold reserves, the biggest thing, please. We have 5th largest gold reserves in the world. Okay. Let's talk about copper, where we are. So that's Pakistan, if you could see in the, okay. And we are right now, yes, click please. 7th largest in the, out of 204 countries, we are the 7th largest copper reserves there. Next, and then we talk about gold. We have 5th largest gold reserves in the world. This is Pakistan I'm talking about. Next, and wheat and then rice, 8th wheat and 7th rice producer of the world is Pakistan. Strange. Then there is a big thing which is called as water. You have dams, you know, and we hear about this thing, the next war, if it happens, I would not like to have it, but if it happens, that would be on water. So Pakistan is 2nd biggest dam of the world. We have it, and the most elaborate irrigation system, Pakistan has it. Next, please. Mountain ranges, because there are lots of people who wants to see mountains in our country. So 5 out of 14 highest peaks in the world are in Pakistan. I'll give you a chance to ask questions. If you want to ask questions in between, you can stop me, but I have a Q&A session in the end, so you might think about it. 4 of them lies around, so 14, 5 plus 4, 9 in Pakistan. Himalayas and Hindu Kush, this is also a big range as far as the mountains are concerned. These are very small, but these all you can see from Pakistan. And the 2nd biggest mountain in the world, which is K2, Karakoram 2, that is also in Pakistan. Okay. Sports, a country can be seen through sports also. So our national sports is hockey, in which we have remained as Olympic champion and the world champion for a very, very long time. But cricket is mostly liked in this area, so the most popular sports is cricket. World Cup of 1992, we won T20, where we got the world champions, then the champions in the, right now we are the blind cricket team champion. Pakistan is the one. Next please. The women cricket, they cannot drive maybe cars in Pakistan. But how come they are, champion in cricket? But they can drive cars, of course. Okay. Highest electronically measured speed by a bowler is 100.23, which becomes 161.3 kilometers by a Shoaib Akhtar. Whosoever follows the cricket, I know that they know the name of Shoaib Akhtar. Like, he's the Tiger Woods of cricket. So. Most men's Scotch title championship is won by Pakistani, and that is the 6th time in a row. That's also by Pakistani. That's where the Pakistan is in sports. Let's see about snooker. And the snooker champions are also in Pakistan. Next, please. And Pakistan played the semi-final of US Open double, right, which was happening in New York. Yeah.
What is
Snooker of you have a pool table, that green color table, and you play on that with that long stick, with the that thing. What do you call it?
Pool?
Billiards.
Billiards. yeah. We call it snooker. Yeah. Okay. Thank you very much for asking. And you can always ask.
So much better.
And so Pakistanis, they have these things. So do they have bigger hearts also? The biggest philanthropist countries, amongst the biggest philanthropist countries, means which would like to do the charity, that is by the Pakistanis. And the largest volunteer ambulance organization is also in Pakistan. That's in the Guinness Book also. Please next. So amongst top philanthropist country, that is Pakistan. Abdul Sattar Eidi, he's also named for this Nobel Prize. So he will be there. If you would like to see his work, you can go onto the internet and then like it, because you need some number of clicks or the recommendations so that you can get the Nobel Prize. So he has almost 335 welfare centers and all these things are by Abdul Sadar EV, and he is running it with all these 24 hours, and it's free of cost. These ambulances will reach everywhere free of cost. 1,800 ambulances. Next, please. I'm going a little fast because I know I have to squeeze time, so that's why. So, one of the biggest part where I listed in the beginning, we are 7th nation who entered into the club out of 9 countries. 9 countries, nuclear power, and Pakistan is the 7th country. The 3rd biggest nuclear reactor is in Pakistan. The country which could not make its own car, which could not make its own motorbike, could produce a nuclear weapon or the nuclear power, as we say. So we are the 7th out of 9 countries. Next, please. Okay. Army, I said military might, where we are in the military might, we are the 6th largest army of the world. So just count down all these things, that where is Pakistan on the global map. Then United Nations, we have forces going to the different places. So which kind of forces are Pakistanis? So once you see this thing, if you make another click, you will come to know about this thing. The largest UN military contingent to the world is by Pakistan. So Pakistan contributes, so you can understand that the peacekeepers of the world are Pakistani forces. These were the maps. But despite all these things, just think about, this is an important slide of mine. Just think about it. Where is Pakistan today? Pakistan is just neck to neck with the United States, neck to neck with Japan, with China, with all these places, these countries. Here it is. 1/5 of the population live below the poverty line. That is $1.2 per day. I was asking about the students who were working on some of the, buffalo wings, and I asked them, how much do we make in 1 hour? And this is about Pakistani population. So what is that? What a disbalance this is. Gold, copper, everything, rice, food, army, superpower, means in terms of the nuclear, and then this state. And Pakistan is counted amongst the most dangerous countries. It's written by The Economist. So once you find out the travel advisory, I need to visit a country, where should I go? Pakistan. Noman was talking about a few things. Let's find out what should I go? It will be say red. No, please, no go. You shouldn't go there. So they write. But why we are there? It's kind of true. It's kind of true. And why we are there? So find out, because if I raise the question for you, I need to give an answer also. And way back, everybody says 9/11, and we listen about it very often. On that day, once my dear country, United States, says that you're with us or without us, or against us. So Pakistan says, yes sir, we are with you. And today the biggest nation fighting for United States of America is Pakistan. Because we are next to Afghanistan. So I have not shown you the map of Pakistan till yet. And you can find out the countries we talk about often, maybe India, China, Iran, Afghanistan. Let's find out where are these countries. Let's make another. So here we have almost 2,500 kilometers border. We have kilometers there, not miles. 2,500 kilometers border with Afghanistan. We have 900 kilometers border with Iran. We have almost 2,500 kilometers plus this one. So with India, we have China, and Pakistan stays in between. And we have sea also of 960 kilometers. So where I live, in summers, you would like to wear a t-shirt. And it would also snow there, like Cancun. So this is the kind. But if you see the depth of the country, it's only 450 kilometers. If you see the length of the country, that's about 1,600 kilometers. So what happened now? The question still remains there, despite all these stops, why Pakistan is like this. Let's go further. So I was telling you about this thing. Let's break us in between the states, as you have 50 plus states. So we have Balochistan, we have Sindh here, we have Punjab here, we have Khyber Pakhtunkhwa here, and we have these 1, 2, 3, 4 provinces. This is, by the way, 44% of Pakistan. Okay, and this is the area we talk about Taliban, and we talk about Al-Qaeda, and we talk about, so we are having a real fight with Afghanistan, with them. And let's go further to find out more into the story. What we did on 9/11, once Pakistan started saying this thing, that we will fight with you. So we made a strategy about this area. By the way, these are 1.7 million people who are living here, and we told them that let's fight with the United States, and you know, I'm with you on this thing. I'm not having any conspiracy theories in my mind. Please read my lips, John F. Kennedy. So please try understanding this is what I want to say. But on that day, once we started this thing, what we started doing, we were not knowing that after 12 years of the war, where we will be. So this is what we did in the areas where so many people are. Deployed security forces and the military operations where necessary. We started doing that. The political process to bring the people into the mainstream national politics. And next is administrative measures and fast-paced development. I have lots of pictures for the fast-paced development, but let's see, one of the fast-paced development which we did was we started making the roads in that area, which was not educated. By the way, they had 4 attributes in this area. 1, they were illiterate. They were not educated. 2, they had the experience of fighting with a world superpower, which was Russia. So they used to say that. And they share one thing common with the United States of America. That's a gun culture. They would not be having food in the house, but they would have an AK-47 rifle. You have seen the movie Rambo 2, so you would have an idea with that. So this was what they had in that. Next, please. So this is how they were living. If you see, this was Pakistan, that was Afghanistan. The people used to live there, go there in the morning. They had married from that place. Their schools were on that side. Their fields were on that side. But once 9/11 happened, we told them, sir, you are Talibans. And they said, what's Taliban? Tell us. And we told them, Taliban means a student. We are illiterate people. You're talking about students. Very good. We accept that. We want to grade us that. So they became Taliban on that day. Next. So we were talking about that, how this portion was on that day. So this is what is the kind of the area it was. It was Pakistan. We had almost 10,000 troops here, and we brought about 150,000 troops here, and the United Nations, the NATO forces, which is called there, they came with the 43 nations, and they became 100,000 plus forces. So this was the kind of the forces which came up here. Next. And if you notice this thing, these are all the posts which Pakistan placed on that day. How many posts? We placed 821. Yeah.
Mr. Khan, I think, I'm sorry to cut you off, but I think some people have to leave soon. So if there are any...
So I'll make it in next 3-4 minutes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Everlasting.
So thank you very much for telling me, John. So we brought, and Pakistan was given around 14 billion US dollar. 14 billion US dollar. And the United Nations forces, I shouldn't say the United Nations forces, I should say NATO forces. How much they were given? 160 billion US dollar. 15 billion, 160. And see, they started placing all these posts all along the border. So 821 posts created by 15 billion US dollar and 112 posts here. So there has to be a fallout of this thing once you do that. Next, please. So we did, along with that, please next please. We had these border posts, we had continuous patrolling and surveillance going on into this area so that we were fighting with the Taliban, night curfews in this area for 3 kilometers border, and then we had the fencing of the area which we had done for this area, and we had biometric system placed here. Along with that, we had border coordination centers, and we started off with the military operations when required. So how many military operations? Think about the military operations which Pakistani did. Next please. We did almost, sorry, these figures are wrong because they are not showing up. These are around 870 military operations, because if you include all of them, 870 military operations Pakistan did in this area. Next please. And we brought infantry battalions there, we brought the frontier corps there, we brought artillery pieces there, 154 tanks, and 80% of the army aviation was flying over them. So that was the kind of the effects which started coming to this area. And by the way, on Google, find out the biggest heli operation was done in this area. Next please. So we were flying around, if you say come to 2001 or maybe this year, 1,000 hours, and Pakistan was started flying 6,000 hours of sorties there in this area. So why I'm talking about Afghanistan and Pakistan and all these things? Because you could link it with the country which has all these stops, and then still I would say Pakistan is around 180th or 70th in the world if you talk about the development in all areas. So average soldier, 6 months, 7.5 months, 12 months, 12 months, and Pakistan, average soldier life was 26 months in the war zone. Next please. Then since 9/11, there are 35,000 casualties in terms of the individuals who were killed, and there were 3,500 officers and men who were killed also. And then there were 10 soldiers casualties per day in 2009. And how many terrorists we caught? About 18,000 terrorists caught. These are the even 3-star generals and brigadiers. The biggest number of the officers to men ratio is in Pakistan, who have been given their life. Means after every 7th man, there has to be an officer who has to lay his life. It has become. And what they did with our intelligence, like CIA, they blew this building, 23 killed, injured. Next. We had this, this building, they made this creative to ourselves, injured 148, killed 12, another Multan. These are the major headquarters which I'm showing that Taliban, they started fighting us, 1.7 million people, they started fighting us. And this is the price which Pakistanis are. By the way, in the World War II, there were 40,000 killings which took place. And today, in Pakistan, we have given a life about 50,000 of individuals who are killed, and about 30,000 who are still in the CMHs or in the hospitals. So think about that, about 80,000 people, families directly linked with some kind of terrorist attack in a country. These are the children. They came down to our officers' children, and you can see them. These are aging from 8 to 16. They were killed. Fallouts of the mirror. I'm just concluding it now. Excessive wear and tear of our equipment. Over 26 months, a soldier life in that war zone. Next. Displacement and dislocation of the people. Damage of the infrastructure. Damage of the properties. Unemployment. An increase in the crime, and then go to that slide which says 1/5 of the population live below poverty line, and that's 1 point. So now find out the reason. There are few mistakes with us also. I'm not saying that we are angels, no we are not, but you could link it with that, I'm giving you a bigger picture in this small time. Next. Pakistan is counted amongst the richest countries today. Link it to that portion. So what I'll request is watch it and try trusting Pakistan. Enable Pakistan to help this world who is fighting the war on terror today. Allow Pakistan the space and the maneuver to contribute. Help avoid indirect, because there are lots of events where it is felt that Pakistan is being destabilized from outside. And then some individual, if he does something wrong, that may be some student somewhere, it will not be linked to the whole nation, which has given a life of 80,000. So this is what I could say to you. Thank you very much, and if you have any questions, please do.